Hi, my name is Samantha Burrell. I'm from Fort Collins, Colorado, and today I'm going to be talking to you about a little piece of environmental science known as urban ecology. So the first question to ask when considering urban ecology is the most obvious. What is it? Ecology itself is defined as the study of the biotic and abiotic factors of a given location, and urban ecology is simply the study of those factors in an urban setting, like a city. Most people typically wouldn't think of a city as being an ecological system, but it's every bit as much of an environment as any natural environment, with its own species, climate, and thus its own set of problems. They are a set of problems that we need to be considering for the future. We're an increasingly urban society. As of 2017, 53% of the world's population lived in urban areas, with 3/4 of the US residing in such an area. Urbanization is very ecologically unstable, which presents itself in a variety of situations. Cities have a very large lack of plants, which leads to decreased oxygen levels and increased heat and air pollution due to the lack of shade and the lack of plants to filter toxins out of the air through photosynthesis. Urban soil is also very similar to desert soil, which means it's hard to grow plants in an urban setting. This leads to us trying to compensate by overwatering, which ties into the many water problems that cities create, such as the water mining of nearby aquifers, and a lack of permeability in cities due to increased amounts of surfaces like cement, concrete, and metal, which leads to more flooding in cities than in surrounding rural areas. There's also a great deal of pollution in cities in the form of air, noise, and light pollution generated by human industry and human activity. This, in turn, leads to a different climate in cities. They are windier, foggier, and rainier than surrounding rural areas. Cities also display a trait known as urban heat islands, where the city surfaces absorb heat during the day and release it again at night, meaning cities are generally much warmer than their surrounding climates. Unfortunately, we can't just wave a magic wand and make all of these problems go away, but there are a number of solutions that we should and need to be looking into, such as smarter urban design with increased amounts of green spaces like parks or green roofs, which will increase permeability, thus recharging groundwater and making it more difficult for cities to flood, as well as filtering out more air, noise, and light pollution. We can also use recycled materials when designing cities to make them more environmentally sustainable. And of course, we can use laws to enforce all of the policies that will make cities more ecologically sustainable. This isn't necessarily an area of environmental science that most people would generally be considering, but it's one that's going to be very, very important as we move into the future, given that we're going to be an urban society, whether we like it or not. Thank you so much for considering my application.